All right, the ride for the week. How lucky am I? Blueprint Capstone 2024. Let's take a look. Just arrived. We're about to take her on our first drive. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a great day and welcome to the Tundra Dude 34 YouTube channel. We have a real treat on our hands right now. This truck just arrived, Blueprint 2024 Capstone. Now, there's something special about the Capstone. This is the high luxury trim of the new generation Toyota Tundra. As you can see, we got the two-tone semi-aniline leather interior. I mean, the thing is very comfortable, soft touch everywhere, pano roof, black headliner. I'm getting you two views. I mean, everything in this truck is absolutely standard. Now, as most of you know, because you've been around the channel a while, you know I drive a 2023 SR5 double cab. So we're going to do a lot of comparisons between how the truck feels versus that truck every day, because SR5 is more of the standard Tundra versus this, which is at the top of the line, the flagship Tundra. I mean, this thing has the big iForce Max engine. It has all the features you could possibly get on a Tundra, a big 22-inch wheel. We will go over all the specifics on the truck when we do the walk around video. Today, we're just going to take it for a nice drive. So this is actually my first 2024 Tundra as far as being behind the wheel. And I think it's a great way to start because, like I said, this is the capstone. We're starting at the very top. So I'm excited. And let's not forget, Blueprint is by far the nicest color, or at least in the top 3 nicest colors when it comes to the new gen Toyota Tundra. So couple things right off the bat. Let's put that on. This is actually the digital rear view mirror. You're not going to find many things that aren't available on the Capstone. It doesn't have a TRD package, but at this price point and this level, I say this on my dealership walks a lot, it pretty much comes one way. You have to get the iForce Max engine, you have to get the Crew Max cab, 5.5 foot bed, and 4x4. All right, that's pretty much how it comes. The only thing you can really add to this truck is the ABS suspension with the load leveling rear height control. That's the only thing that's optional when it comes to this Toyota Tundra. And one thing I will tell you right off the bat, as someone who drives a regular iForce every day versus this iForce Max, when I even had any other iForce Max with me, including the Tundra I owned for about 6 months, the TRD Pro, the brakes are just something different to get used to. But one great thing that we never mention when it comes to the iForce Max engine with these new generation Tundras, whether you're in this, the Capstone with the big 22-inch chrome wheels, or whether you're in a regular Limited or a TRD Pro, all the different variations you could get with the iForce Max engine, this engine is no slouch. This engine gets the truck down the road. It doesn't feel like it's super heavy. It doesn't lag. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight. It doesn't feel underpowered. The truck gets down the road beautifully, and I absolutely love that because I was afraid. I remember when I drove my first Capstone, just looking at it, I was like, wow, that really does look heavy with those big 22-inch wheels. But really, you know, this engine does a great job. There is the fed-in noise, the fed-in engine noise that some people love, some people hate. If you get the JBL sound system, you're going to get that fed-in engine noise. And on the Capstone, let's not forget, the JBL sound system is standard. You can take it to the dealership and they can program it off. Now let's do a quick direct comparison between the SR5 that I drive and this fine truck. Seat comfort is very, very good in both trucks, but you can really feel the softness when you get up into these high luxury trim Tundras versus the SR5. My SR5 doesn't have fabric. It actually has the Softex, which is kind of your middle between fabric and the genuine leather that's available in the Platinum 1794 and this semi-aniline leather, which is the best of the best. So I have no problems with my seats, but I will tell you one thing. Driving one and then going to another like this, you can instantly feel that this is a lot more of a softer leather, which is what you're going to want. You're going to spend this kind of extra money on details like this, you're going to want that feel. But as far as the truck goes with, you know, handling, I always like to do a quick little around town before I get out on the main road, just to kind of get a feel for the truck, you know, making turns, hitting brakes. The only thing that takes getting used to is the brakes. There is no auto stop start when it comes to the hybrid. If you have the regular iForce, you have that button in there where you can shut that off. This thing will go between battery and engine on its own. You don't really have to do anything. But I mean, power delivery is there. You can hear the turbos kick up when you put your foot on the pedal a little bit. the overall feel of the truck. I always say these new generation pickup trucks, especially just specifically talking about the Tundra coming from last generation, which was, your V8 leaf spring classic feel of a pickup truck. These new generation ones they handle great. There's not a lot of brake dive. They really just don't feel like the old school pickup trucks at all. And some people will like that and some people will hate that. And the good news for you, if you hate it, and you have a last generation Toyota Tundra, you'll probably be able to drive that thing forever because 5.7 is extremely reliable. Let's get this thing out here, give it a little run for its money. It's very powerful. 10-speed automatic transmission. You don't even feel it. The truck just rips down the road. It's such a smooth delivery of power. And once again, I want to bring up the fact, I feel like it's going to be one of the finer pinpoints of the week with this truck, is that even with this setup on it, which again, I feel like it looks extremely heavy with the big wheels and tires, chrome all over it. Even with this setup on it, this truck gets down the road no problem. You just don't feel any hesitation or any kind of weight. Now, who's going to buy this truck when it comes to the Capstone? Are you going to buy this truck to haul, tow, do all your crazy construction, landscaping jobs, that kind of thing? You probably won't. You'll probably go down into something like the SR5, maybe the Limited, if you want a little bit more. But the cool part is you can do that kind of stuff in this truck. Would you want to with this beautiful white and black leather? Probably not. That's what a lot of you say anytime we make a video on the Capstone, is most people won't be using this thing for work. But the fun part is this truck can tow decent weight. It can haul. It can drive nice. You can take the family with you. Unfortunately, there's only the 5.5-foot bed. A lot of people wish that even this truck came with the 6.5-foot bed, which maybe Toyota in the future will do that. They'll give more options. And I think options are great. And I always say this at the dealership lots, and I'll say this to you now, and you let me know down in the comments what you think. Some people love all the options. Some people like the fact that when they go to buy a Capstone, they know that the Capstone is going to be set up the way they want, because you really can't add a lot of stuff to the truck. Does that make you happy, or do you wish you could get the 6.5-foot bed, maybe an I-Force and I-Force Max choice of an engine? Like, which direction would you want to go? Are more options better, or do you like the way that it's set up? Personally, when it comes up into this level of luxury, like, this is not something I would buy. I like more of the off-road setups or your standard kind of setups. But listen, if you're someone who is going to use your truck every once in a while, maybe tow a trailer somewhere for vacation with the family, maybe hit Lowe's or Home Depot, get the mulch, get all the equipment when spring and summer are here, this truck's going to do you just fine, because it's also going to give you a high-end version of luxury. I have the cooled seat on right now, the ventilated seat, and I miss that in my SR5. That's not available in SR5. I mean, the cab is set up in a way where you got a lot more buttons than you ever did in these new generation Tundras, but it's very easy to operate, very easy to use climate control, very easy to use infotainment system. One thing I'll give Toyota massive credit on was when they came out with the new generation Tundra and the availability of the 14-inch screen, which is standard in all your high trim Tundras, starting in Limited and up. It's standard. It's the only screen you could get. Everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be such a pain to, it's going to be a driving distraction or something like that. No, it's actually the opposite. I've mentioned this in a few videos as well. With a big screen like this, first off, I have it on dark mode, so you can't even really see it on at all. But with a big screen like this, when you're driving down the road, say on a highway or something, and you want to change something, you barely need to look at the screen because all of the options on the screen are gigantic. It's not like they're very small and you got to like really pay attention to where you're clicking. If you want navigation, boom, left, boom, search. Everything is extremely easy to use in this cab, making the drive even better. Because once you get used to it, which won't take you long at all because there's not a lot of crazy extras in here, you're going to love it. The black headliner in this truck needs to be on all Tundras. You could only get the black headliner on Platinum, 1794, now TRD Pro, and Capstone. This black headliner ties this insane interior all together. You got the wood grain, you got the ambient lighting, you got the white and the black leather. Everything flows nice. If this had a gray headliner, it would throw it all off. So if you're into the luxury, if you're into the top of the line type stuff and you love the Toyota Tundra, congratulations, you are here. This is the truck. There's a lot of great exterior color options on this truck. A lot of people like wind chill pearl, supersonic red. I personally love what we're sitting in right now, which is the Blueprint, the most underrated color on the Tundra palette, in my opinion. But this thing gets down the road real nice. And if I was someone who had the money, because it's not cheap, you're looking at around $80,000 for this luxury beast here. But if I was someone who had the money and I wanted to take my truck on long trips and maybe I had the family, you're going to check off all your boxes immediately, because this thing has all the luxury you can get in Tundra: premium LED auto leveling headlights, all this great stuff that's in here. It's got the capability to tow, to haul, and to take the family wherever you want. So this truck is an absolute pleasure to be behind the wheel of. And although I don't own one anywhere near this high of a trim, I definitely love every second I get to drive behind the wheel of it. Digital gauge cluster, just there's luxury screaming at you from all options, but it's done in a very Toyota-esque way where they didn't overdo it, in my opinion. The big iForce Max engine makes the truck get down the road real nice. So from this first drive, some of the things that I really notice when driving this truck versus driving some of the other trucks out there in the other Tundras. Number one, this one is, you know what you're in. You know you're in something special because of the crazy interior that's in this truck. But as far as the driving feel of it, it absolutely feels like you're riding on a cloud. The suspension is very compliant. The handling is great. The cornering is great. The brakes are the only thing that don't get a high score for me, and that has to do with the hybrid. So one more thing before I let you go. I shut the cameras off and I took a little ride and enjoyed this Capstone. And another thing we need to talk about is how quiet the cabin is. Acoustic glass. You can't really hear anything on the outside of the vehicle. The sound system is very good. There's no wind noise. It's just very, very quiet. When you're in some of the lower trim Tundras, you could definitely hear more outside noise. This one, you don't hear anything. Until next time, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok at TundraDude34, TundraDude34 at gmail.com. Are you a fan of this kind of ultimate luxury? Let me know in the comments below.